Huh?
I finished The Ring. Like I watched it again for the first time.
Oh.
Like the American. Not,
Yeah.
Not Ringu. The Ring.
Yeah.
That movie's still really good. Like,
really?
Oh no, I really.
I thought didn't you say it wasn't holding up or anything?
No, because the beginning wasn't when it's the teenagers and they're talking about the tape.
Oh, you mean the fucking opening prologue?
Yeah. It was just that was really terrible, and I was like, if the movie stays this way,
doesn't it do like a quick flash of what they look like in the closet at the beginning though?
Yeah, once the mom talks about what killed not knowing what killed the daughter.
Yeah,
she's like, I saw her. Like,
it's
something. There's something.
But that's not in the prologue.
No. But you do see what Samara does to them. But no, it was actually, it stood up. It was cool.
It's tense as hell.
Well, and it's just a really fun
when she's on the fucking ferry and the horse is going wild.
Well, yeah, but not even
the fly comes out of the goddamn TV screen.
The mystery.
Yeah.
The solving the mystery thing was really well done.
She's got 7 days. Can she figure out what happened to Samara?
It was cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I haven't seen it since.
And then she crawls out of the fucking TV. Dude, when she gets out of the...
Because the movie's like 20 years old now.
Yeah, it was...
2002.
It's 2002?
Yeah, I think. That's what it was. So.
No, I want to say it was like 2001 or 2000. Because I'm pretty sure I was like 13.
2002.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I was 15 when that came out. I thought it was like 14. I thought it was a little bit younger.
But yeah, I mean, that movie, I recommend it. If you haven't seen it forever, watch it. It was fun. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, that's right. I saw that in theaters with Trey. That makes more sense.
And then I texted my mom about it, and I think she was confused about what I was talking about. Because I was like, The Ring really holds up. And then she was like, good, I'm so glad for you. I don't think you understood my text because I don't understand that response at all.
Yeah, I'll just lead us in.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Welcome back, everybody. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck me, right? You just no enthusiasm from the other side of the room over here.
Yeah, it's good. Hope your weekend were great.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I guess we're just here doing another movie for you. No big deal.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We are. We're doing another movie. Yes, join us today. We are we're reviewing 1982's The Thing.
Yes. One of my favorite classics, cult classics. Good fun history to the movie itself.
I had never seen it,
which blows my mind.
Yeah, I had never seen it, so that was exciting.
So just quick initial feelings, thoughts?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was absolutely awesome. Like it's now in my top like alien sci-fi movies.
Creature feature.
Yeah, it was. Well, like I was gonna be more specific about it, like alien creature features. It was really fucking cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It got me a couple of times too.
Oh, it got me still a couple of times.
Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, that's what I love about it. It's like the suspense in it, and it was like, oh my god, that happened. Yeah. Oh my god, it's terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah. It was good. It was really. I really enjoyed it.
Did your partner watch with you?
She watched the first.
Like the first third of it, got bored.
No, she got to right after. Right before the Swedes, the quote unquote, the Norwegians.
So she didn't even get into the meat of it.
No.
Yeah, because it's very slow, but yeah.
Well, and I was like, nothing literally has happened yet, and then they all died, and I was like, see, you walked away at the wrong moment. but
yeah, okay, so let's get into this. Reviews or scores. IMDb, it's got an 8.2 score. And then on Rotten Tomatoes, it had an 83 tomato meter rating and then a 92% audience score, which I thought was... And I always like it when I know that is more common, isn't it? Audience score is a little bit higher.
I think you mentioned... The only time you mention it is when,
It's rarely... Like last week's Bug was
critic and audience are super on either side.
I mean, yeah, this movie... Well, when it came out, it was actually... panned.
Yeah, this movie had the same kind of thing with Blade Runner and what was the other one?
A lot of movies from the 80s.
I know something specifically came out because of E.T. People were like,
oh yeah,
about Yeah, I don't remember, but
Yeah, so yeah, that specifically came out June 25th, 1982. I had a sneak preview back when those were a thing.
oh, I forgot about that.
On June 20th before. Yeah, no, I saw a sneak preview. I was like, oh, man, yeah. It's number 42 on the... It was number 42 in box office for the year. Yeah, because like number 1 was E.T. Tootsie was number 2, which I didn't realize Tootsie did that big in the box office.
At this time, I could see that.
Yeah, because I mean Dustin Hoffman was like huge, was really popular.
What's an officer and a gentleman?
I don't know. I've never seen that.
Rocky 3 and Porky's.
Which, God damn it, Porky's. That movie's fucking a nightmare. Have you seen Porky's?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember not caring for it.
I mean, it's pretty much. It's like Revenge. It's before Revenge of the Nerds, wasn't it? No, Revenge of the Nerds, I want to say, was maybe a year before this.
I got like an Animal House feel.
It's an Animal House meets Revenge of the Nerds. Maybe Revenge of the Nerds was a little bit after this.
Uh-huh.
But yeah. No, that's pretty much what it is. Just like college kids being. Yeah, I know they're high school kids and Porky's, aren't they?
I don't remember. Like I said,
I haven't seen this since I was in middle school. Anywho, we're not talking about Porky's. But yeah, Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan came out this year as well. Poltergeist, best little whorehouse in Texas. So how many movies did you get?
26.
24.
Really? I beat you?
By like 2, yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, I hadn't seen a lot. But a lot of them, it was that what happened with you. I remembered them,
yeah,
but I don't remember seeing them.
I mean, same with a lot of these.
Yeah, like at 26, I was like, yes, I know the plot. I've seen it. Like,
and some of them are just kind of like, man, it's been so long. Like Tootsie, I was sitting there like, I know I've seen Tootsie.
I've never seen Tootsie.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Now it's the problem?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was one where I was like, oh, I saw that, and I was like, wait, no, I've actually never seen that. I just know about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, this actually strangely a lot of re-releases this year. I think, especially with like Star Wars, Empire, and A New Hope.
Oh yeah, I did notice that. Yeah,
this was the year when they released A New Hope, and it's when they actually put the title Episode 4.
Yeah,
because this was like, and I think and then they added also Episode 5 for Empire Strikes Back, because originally it was just Star Wars. And then Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. And as they were getting into releasing Return of the Jedi, that's when Lucas was like, well, there was 3 stories before this.
Fever dream.
Yeah, right. So yeah, let's get into what's your synopsis?
Shape-shifting alien assimilates Arctic research crew, causing paranoia and murder. Everyone is sus.
Among Us, the movie.
I wanted to maybe want to play Among Us afterwards.
Yeah, that isn't. Yeah. It's really funny. It's like there have been people that have been like, "Man, I wonder what an Among Us movie would look like." I'm like, "Have you seen The Thing?"
The Thing.
Yeah, it's like
it's
like that Will Smith meme.
Oh yeah.
He's like presenting it.
It did. I was like, I really would like a Thing video game, like
2002 PS2.
A modern.
Sorry.
Game. I don't want to play for a game from 2002.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Also, if I remember correctly, it didn't really. I mean, it was okay for a PlayStation 2 game. It was a third person, but if I remember correctly, it just kind of like it didn't really play out very well.
No, but I was thinking day and age, because the mechanics, you could do like survival, like cold management, heat management stuff. But I know that if they did make that, it would be one of those.
It's going to be
4 versus 1.
Yeah, it might be that, or they would do some really weird thing where it's like The Thing 2099 and it's set in the future in some spacecraft somewhere.
That playing Dead Space.
Yeah, no.
There's a lot. This just itches its way into a lot of shit. No, I think that I would like it would actually, but the thing is, if you were to make a game about it, like I would want it to be like a mystery where you're trying to discover who is, but I wouldn't want it to be online. I'd want it to be like narrative driven.
Yeah,
you play as a character, and you have to figure out.
Actually, it could be both. I mean, there could be like the online thing where it's like 4v1, and then there's an actual like storyline to it. What are you beating your head up for?
What is that company that did Man of Meridian?
Why does that name sound familiar?
It's that they have a trilogy. It's those horror narratives where it has a bunch of different endings, and you play as all the teenagers that go up to the snowy cabin. You have to find the serial killer. There's like a Salem time period one. There's,
Who
the fuck did those?
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about though?
Yeah.
Like if that company did like a thing, that would do really well.
Oh, have it be like a choose your own adventure type thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That if they wanted to do an alien thing, that'd be cool.
Or the thing.
The thing.
You want to do the thing ring?
Dude, right,
do your thing.
That would be a really good company
Whoa,
to do
that was
it.
a flashback.
That'd be a good company to do it.
Did you?
I mean, I never beat any of them, so I don't know if
I've never even played one of them.
you need to play those.
Yeah, I know.
You need to play those.
But that's just okay. So this is because it's supreme side tangent. Did you ever watch the thing like Fantastic Four's The Thing animated solo show?
No, I've seen The Thing versus like the Hulk.
So this like the whole story is like this kid has a ring and he summons the Thing, like the rocks surround him. It's like a Shazam.
Yeah,
It's like Shazam, but he's the Thing. And he literally says, "Thing ring, do your thing," and then he becomes the Thing.
I love that. That's my next tattoo right here. Thing ring, do your thing.
All right, we're way off tangent now. Let's get into here. All right, so where were we? A director. All right, so yeah, this one was directed by John Carpenter, the late. Oh no, he's still alive.
He's still alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was dead too. I don't know why.
Because he just doesn't do anything anymore.
I really thought he had passed away. But then
Same.
I think I was thinking of
Maybe I wonder if Wes Craven.
I think I may even think of Wes
I don't know. It could be a Mandela effect. Like we have a memory of him passing away, but he's actually still alive.
Yeah, maybe. I was like, when I didn't see I was like, oh, all right, cool.
If you're not familiar with John Carpenter, he is most famous for really creating the Halloween series, like really making the slasher franchise really a thing. I didn't mean to do that.
When I do edit notes, I think when I count how many times we say that word.
Say thing.
Yeah.
And then one of my personal favorites, he also did They Live, which I think actually a double of John Carpenter maybe later on of They Live and Big Trouble in Little China, because they're both kind of his like action comedy movies.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, Big Trouble in Little China is one of my favorites. I mean, I haven't seen it in years, but I remember really liking it as a kid. He likes to work with Kurt Russell.
They're friends.
Oh, they are?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're really good friends.
Oh, good.
Like actually, Kurt Russell like helped John Carpenter with like the production of this, like figuring out writing and like rewriting and stuff whatnot. But he was also the last person to get cast in the movie.
I think one of my favorites too is The Fog. I really like The Fog.
I've actually never seen The Fog.
I like that one.
That's the one that ends really, or I think in The Mist.
That's The Mist.
Okay.
That's Stephen King.
Okay, yeah.
No, The Fog is just ghosts and spirits in the fog, and they murder you.
It's in the 80s, right?
Yeah, when they did a remake with fucking Superman.
Brandon Roth?
The Smallville guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I forget his name, actually.
I can't remember his name. How is Escape from New York?
Oh, man. I haven't seen that since I was like 8 or 9.
It sounds cool. Manhattan becomes like a super prison.
Well, I mean, you've seen Escape from LA, right?
I've seen none of them.
Oh, I mean, it's pretty much just the same movie, only it's in New York.
Well, which one's the first one?
I think LA is the first. Oh, no.
New York is the
New
first
York
one.
is the first one. I've seen Escape from LA.
Okay. I'm actually really, it sounds like a just action-packed explosion.
Yeah. That's kind of what it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, cool. Yeah. I'm into
it. So like John Carpenter, he had a lot of like acclaimed like some like he really knew how to go into like the cheesiness of some films and what like Big Trouble in Little China. If you watch that, there's a guy that literally just explodes out of like powering up too much, like or whatever. You know, remember the guy?
I wonder if Big Trouble in Little China would be good to pair with Warriors of Virtue.
Maybe
because they have those elemental warriors.
Oh man,
there's like there's a Raiden lightning.
I forgot about that. Yeah, maybe. But then like towards the end of his career, things just kind of started to like flop really bad and weren't doing so hot. Like John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars, or John Carpenter's Vampires. Just like
who's the hunter in Vampires? Is it Ooh Piece of Candy?
James Woods. Yeah,
it is right.
I love that I got it from that. There's so many things you said for James Woods, and you went to a Family Guy reference.
We do a lot of Family Guy references, I feel like. Considering we haven't watched it in like 10 years.
I know. His most recent movie that he did was that he directed was, and last movie he directed was 2011's The Ward with Amber Heard. Which,
I don't know what that-
interesting movie. You might enjoy the premise
Is it a
to it.
psychiatric horror movie?
Yeah, but yeah. It's,
I just got from the title and then John Carpenter.
yeah,
I'm like, okay.
parapsychonatural.
Sure.
The Ward with Amber Heard, Johnny Depp.
Stuff. Moving on. We're not talking about that.
No, we're not. So yeah, let's go into writers because actually this will be kind of maybe a short one.
Yeah.
Because the screenplay was written by Bill Lancaster, who really has only written other like that. This is Bad News Bears.
Yeah, he was like the creator. I get the first writer for the Bad News Bears franchise, which if you know what that is a tale of an underdog little league team and their smoking alcoholic coach that leads them to victory.
Yeah.
But
he has a redemption. Who plays him originally?
Burt Reynolds, right?
No.
I thought it was Burt Reynolds.
No. What's his name? He's opposite Jack Lando. He's opposite of Jack Lemmon in Grumpy Old Ben.
Oh, okay. I really thought. Oh, and then the Billy Bob Thornton does a
remake. Yeah, I've never seen the remake.
It's I don't know. You ever seen Starsky and Hutch?
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of like.
I feel like there should be a little more, like lighthearted moments with the kids around.
No, totally. But it's like it's like they're making a joke about the series. You get it? They're making a joke. It's like
okay.
Yeah,
fair,
it's just kind of like I get it. Yeah,
I get it. It was made in the 70s. We get it. Apparently, so like the history of this film though, like it kind of like since this is a remake from a 1950s one, The Thing
from Another World.
I think it was like something on another world.
But this one, the 82 version, follows the novella closer by the title Who Goes There?
Yes.
Which was written in 1938. So The Thing from Another World just took the idea of an alien. The Thing actually followed with the concept of researchers in a frosty and cold environment being attacked by
it was just like so Bill Lancaster wanted to follow the novella a lot more because the novella ends kind of like in an open-ended way, kind of like a Twilight Zone episode in its own right. It's also 1938, so.
Well, in 2018, they found the like manuscript for an entire novel. Also, this is like the original writer of this is John W. Campbell Jr. This was published in 1938 in a publication called Astounding Science Fiction. And John W. Campbell Jr. just really did a lot of sci-fi writing for the 30s and 40s. Yeah, and the larger novel was called called Frozen Hell.
Yeah,
and that's like an actual full fleshed out story, as opposed to like you said the Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, and like Bill Lancaster, because the Thing from Another World, it kind of ends in like a happy, like they defeated the. It's also the 50s where they're you get the Reds out of communist, get the Reds out of Hollywood, whatever. And John Carpenter was really only interested if it became a little bit more of an original idea as well. And Bill Lancaster was starting to make it more closer to novella, not necessarily a complete remake of the original, but John Carpenter took a lot of inspiration from the original as well. I try to like Bill Lancaster. He's the son of old Hollywood actor Burt Lancaster.
Yeah, and apparently when he was younger, he was like a spitting image of his dad.
But Bill, he had like also he got polio when he was super young, so he had like one leg shorter than the other. Yeah, and he passed away in 1997. Yeah, shortly after his dad passed away. Oh yeah, I guess like Burt Lancaster passed away in 1994, and then like 4 years later, Bill. Crazy. Yeah, it's always crazy when that happens. Yeah, right. And then there's also 2011, The Thing. Yes, there is, with Mary Elizabeth Winstead, which apparently is a prequel. Yeah, I saw that and I didn't understand. I'm going to watch it. I'm pretty sure I have seen it. I just didn't make any. I mean, I don't know, just not fully paying attention. I would only watch it to see the special effects. That's fair. Just curious what they did. Speaking of special effects, let's talk about them. Rob Bottin did the special effects. He developed the creature and makeup for this movie, which is fucking really good. And he was 22. Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, well, the thing, he was 22 years old, and he's a monster maker.
Yeah, like
in Hollywood for years. He
did Legend.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, he did Legend.
Well,
yeah, I have a whole list of like the shit he did was actually pretty, like the Fog, The Howling, Legend, Witches of Eastwick, RoboCop, Inner Space, Total Recall, 7. And then I put Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and Fight Club, but you
literally put down all the same movies that I put down.
But before those two, all of those like visual creations are awesome.
No, 100%, yeah.
They're all really good.
Yeah.
Like,
and apparently the original budget for like makeup or for special effects on this was going to be like 200,000, and it went up to like 1.5 million after all of like the stuff that they talked about. And like the only reason like the studio agreed to it is they saw how large of a team Rob Bottin actually had. Like they're like, oh, he's got like a bunch of employees under him. Like maybe it's like maybe it'll be really good.
Yeah,
you know.
I also am wondering, like we say, like these movies have really great visual. I'm wondering for younger people, if they watch it, they're like, what? No, and we just have a
I mean, okay. If I'm going to be honest with you, the special effects don't age well in comparison to the special effects of today.
I think it's because we look at it and go, that was cool. How did they do that? Or,
well, for me, it's like I have an appreciation to be like, this is the 80s. I understand what the limitations are for the 80s.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Really cool. Like, we're like, oh, that's really cool how they did that in this time frame.
Yeah.
You know, like, how did they do that?
It's kind of like when I showed like some friends, or some friends and I, we watched The Birds, and my friends were all like, when we were in college, like, oh yeah, it's Alfred Hitchcock. It's supposed to be like really, really scary. And we get like halfway through it and they're like, how is Alfred Hitchcock scary? I'm like, you guys understand, this is the 60s. It's like, this was terrifying for the 60s. Like, if we don't have The Birds, we don't have a lot of our modern horror today. It's like, yeah, but this is really boring. How did people find it scary? I'm like, because they weren't desensitized yet. Come on.
Well, like even a mutual friend of ours was watching the Bates Motel show. And I was like, oh, cool. Have you seen Psycho? And they were like, no. I was like, oh, that seems weird to me. Like, why do you care?
Yeah, that's actually...
And they're like, well, do you recommend to watch it? And I was like, I mean, if you can sit through... if you want to watch the original, maybe, but I mean...
I think Psycho strangely kind of holds up well in comparison to The Birds, yeah. Because, like, Psycho still has, like, a little bit more of, like, a tangible, like, horror element to it.
Yeah, but I would honestly... I don't know, this is going to be blasphemous, but I'd say watch the remake.
The shot-for-shot remake with Vince Vaughn?
Yeah.
I mean,
it might just be going too far back for people to watch the original.
I mean, it's literally a shot-for-shot remake.
I know, but the quality of it being like the black and white and everything, I just feel like that would like make people not interested in it.
I don't know. I mean, the shot-for-shot remake got fucking panned because it didn't expand anymore. It literally like kept the suspense and everything shot for shot, you know. So
I mean, but I liked it. I liked Vince Vaughn in it.
I thought, Vince Vaughn was wonderful in it. But yeah. Let's go into starring. And let's not go through okay. So really quick, this does have a huge list. Like there's like 12
main characters.
Well, supporting main characters.
I was going to say bring up the two that are the most famous.
I would say 3.
Okay.
Like the 2 survivors at the end.
Okay. That was
and
the 2.
then the doctor that actually, becomes the main problem.
Yeah. Okay.
So to begin with, starring Kurt Russell.
Big Trouble in Little Chinatown. Escape from New York. Who's he in Vanilla Sky?
Oh, he's the therapist.
Oh my God.
He's his Atticus Finch.
Right. Okay. As soon as you said, okay, I see him now. I was
not therapist, lawyer, father, projected idea father figure type thing.
Yeah. Okay.
But what's really interesting, did you know this about Kurt Russell? That he was one of the first biggest live action Disney stars.
For what?
Well, like just Disney in general. He did check this out. So I went down. I was just curious. I went into his Wikipedia. In 1966, the last thing Walt Disney wrote down were the words "Kurt Russell" on a piece of paper. He starred in movies like "Follow Me, Boys," "Wonderful World of Color," "Computer with Tennis Shoes." Is that what it was? I don't think I forgot to write that one down. Yeah, no. For 10 years, he was like the Buena Vista Disney studio, like live action Disney star.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And he also had a baseball career. I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Who did he play for?
He didn't play for professionally. He played where is it at? Minor leagues. So like California Angels, Bend Rainbows, Walla Walla Islanders.
Huh.
Moved up to the Class AA with the El Paso Sun Kings of the Texas League. Yeah, like Kurt Russell's done a lot of shit.
And probably more recently, I mean, so also probably Tombstone and Stargate are two big ones. And then more recently would be the Christmas Chronicles, where he plays Santa Claus. And then Guardians of the Galaxies, he's Ego.
Yeah.
I had a really funny moment with young Kurt Russell, though, when I was watching this. I haven't really seen him young.
Other than like Big Trouble in Little China, really?
Yeah, but also in this, because he took it. So for this movie, he took a year to grow out his hair and beard. So he has this long hair and this big bushy beard. And just the way he was acting, I was like, God, he really reminds me of that guy from Overlord, that Nazi zombie movie that I really like, that I mentioned a couple times. It's like, man, he really reminds me of that guy when he's younger. Lo and behold, it's his fucking son, really? Wyatt Russell.
That's interesting.
And
that's funny.
I just looked. I was like, it has to be his kid. And I looked it up, and sure enough, it's just the ginger version of Kurt Russell, basically. He's just got more red hair. It's not brunette.
Oh, that's funny.
And just because also in Overlord in this movie, he's that like gruff, like take no bullshit kind of guy. Yeah, so Wyatt acts like a lot like his dad, and it really was funny.
That's great.
Yeah, I was like, all right, cool. All right, I see you, Wyatt. I see what you're doing.
Do you want to go into Wilford or Keith next?
I went to Keith.
All right. Keith, we talked about Keith David.
We gargoyles.
Well, yeah, not only like gargoyles. We talked about Spawn. You know what I mean? So Keith,
we talked about Keith in our Dream Reboot.
He's episode. Also in There's Something About Mary. He's the dad.
Oh my God, he is. I totally forgot about that.
Like I was sitting there, I'm like, man, actually, Keith David's been kind of like a strange, just like pop up.
Because also 345 acting credits.
Yeah, well,
he's been around forever.
Well, he does a lot of voice acting that I don't think a lot of people recognize. Like voice acting itself that I immediately connect him with is Rick and Morty, Spawn, and Gargoyles. I don't know what else more you wrote down.
Halo. He's in Halo. He's an Arbiter, which I didn't fucking know.
I've never played Halo.
He's the opposite Master Chief. He's the alien, I think. Yeah, Arbiter. Yeah, he's one of the. He's the alien main character. Princess and the Frog,
which I still haven't. Yeah, I haven't seen that. But that's also one of his. That's one of his biggest acting credits or voiceover credits.
Well, it's also cool too because I mean, Princess and the Frog is the last like 2D Disney movie
in that style of animation,
which I think they're not doing anymore at all.
No, Disney doesn't do that at all anymore.
No, they're not going to do that. And then Coraline, which I forgot he was in Coraline. He's the Cheshire Cat type character. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
He's the one that's helping her through the rabbit hole, you know.
Oh, okay.
Like her guide.
Yeah. So I mean, so then live action. So you guys, if you want to know what he looks like, if you, he's in the final season. Oh wait, is that? Yeah, that's him in the final season of Community, right?
I don't remember the final season of Community, to be totally honest. I always skip that one. I've only seen it once.
I know he does a voice. I'm pretty sure it's. Like, I don't know why I'm second guessing myself.
He's in They Live.
Yeah, I was gonna say, which is also John Carpenter. And then like I said, There's Something About Mary. He's the father. I really I know he's in it. I don't know why I'm second guessing myself still.
Dude, it's so hard to go through his shit because there's so many for so many years.
Yeah, there we go.
You found it. What year?
It was just it has him in 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, he's only in season 7. I guess he's so like after they get rid of Pierce following season 4, they replace the old guy with I forget the actor from
he has 18 in 2015, just to give an idea of how many credits this guy does a year.
They replace him with the guy from that I recognize more from Breaking Bad. Thank you, Better Call Saul. And then he doesn't do another season, so they bring Elroy in, who is Keith David. Keith David's character, who's like a computer tech genius. And that's also when they bring in Paget Brewster. I don't want to go down on a community.
And then
spiral.
when I think of Keith David's, I go to the Riddick franchise.
I don't remember the Riddick franchise at all.
That's one of my I love that franchise.
But yeah, okay, so let's
I think
go.
I'm one of the few.
Yeah, probably.
I love that franchise.
And then last but not least, well, like out of like the 12, we're only bringing up 3. Wilford Brimley, who most famously, I would say, was probably like Cocoon, and The Natural. Most famously known with a mustache, and I did not recognize him without the mustache in this movie.
It took me a minute until he started talking.
Yeah,
And then I was like, I know that voice very well.
Yeah.
From Cocoon.
Mm-hmm. He looks like, if you want to know what he really looks like, he looks kind of like Teddy Roosevelt.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. We lost him in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, he looks. It's good. Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah. He's got like 78 acting credits. He's definitely much more known, I would say, through like 70s, 80s.
Well, and that's the thing, too, that we should probably bring up is that a lot of there's probably, 2, 3.
Other actors that would kind of be like recognizable.
I was going to say that, like, there's a bunch of actors in this that are around, like, Russell and Keith's age, but they didn't really, like, make it big. And then all the other ones are, like, Wilford, what's his name? Wilford are older, that were famous way before any of our times.
Yeah.
So they're not. I didn't recognize anybody really except for those 3.
The guy who takes care of the dogs. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, where was he? He was Richard Mouser is his name. He played Clark. He's the father in Teen Wolf.
Oh.
And
Let's see, he was in My Girl.
Oh, yeah. TK Carter looks familiar. I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah, it was, I think, Charles Hallahan looks familiar. Yeah. It just, yeah, I mean, there's just people in it.
There's a lot of people in it, and they just didn't really, like, those 3 stuck out to us the most.
Yeah, I think really, like, out of Kurt Russell, Wilford Brimley, and Keith David, they really are the most. They have really the most recognizable careers, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. You can see that.
All right. So, what do you got for reviews over there, bud?
So on Metacritic, there are 8 positive, 2 mixed, 3 negative. First, with the positive by Bud Simons at the Austin Chronicle. The thing is paranoid, bleak, uncompromising, and thankfully devoid of a traditional Hollywood happy ending. Led by Russell, the ensemble cast is outstanding, but the real star of the film is Rob Botton's imaginative creature effects.
Fuck yeah.
And we already talked about him. I made a side note to talk about him, but we already did that. So, for mixed, was staff not credited at Variety. If it's the most vividly gruesome monster ever to stalk the screen that audiences crave, The Thing is The Thing. On all other levels, however, John Carpenter's remake of Howard Hawks' 1951 sci-fi classic comes as a letdown. And then for negative, David Anson at Newsweek. There's a big difference between shock effects and suspense, and in sacrificing everything at the altar of gore. Carpenter sabotages the drama. The Thing is so single-mindedly determined to keep you awake that it almost puts you to sleep.
Oh.
And that
Why do I agree with that a little bit, actually?
Do you really?
Yeah. I love this movie, but like it definitely drags at some points.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a device.
Kind of. I think it's kind of pacing issues.
Really?
I think it's a product of its time, I should say.
I mean, I hated the fucking fade out. Got old.
Oh, yeah.
Something would happen and then fade to black.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That was annoying, yeah.
But like that's also like I feel like just like a lot of the pacing and whatnot is kind of more of like product of its time. Not, I don't know if they're mentioning it in a review, then maybe not so much.
Yeah, because this came out in '82. This review.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I tried really hard to see if I could find some type of like metaphor what this movie was really trying to say.
I think this is really just
but like no, that's the thing. I was like, I really can't find anything. I was like so then I was like obviously like fear of invasion, which like if you really want to go back to the original story, the science fiction story, there is like that whole thing of like a fear of like like it's science fiction time, 30s, 40s, 50s. The fear of like communists taking over,
foreign influence.
Yeah, foreign influence in general itself, so but like we're in the 80s now, and like, the Cold War has been going on for years. We're not really scared of communism that much anymore. I mean, there is a little bit, but now it's more Russian influence, you know what I'm trying to say? This movie just doesn't really have that anymore. This is more like literally just like a straight up like creature feature.
Yeah.
With some really solid themes of paranoia and isolation.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Like like Bill Lancaster and John Carpenter really just like encapsulated a really good idea of like what would happen. Especially like the thing about it is like none of these guys, other than like McCready, like Kurt Russell's character, they're really not like like military guys, there's no like big
they're Antarctic researchers.
Yeah, there's no big like Arnold Schwarzenegger hero. Like they're fucking scientists.
Yeah, they're just guys.
I mean, McCready probably might have like, since he's a fucking pilot, helicopter pilot.
There was talk about making him some kind of Vietnam vet, PTSD.
Well, that was one thing Bill Lancaster was talking about. So he didn't want to make like a Dan Savage type character.
Yeah.
If you guys aren't familiar with Dan Savage, like the old the hero of the books, what the Dan Savage stories.
Yeah,
some people maybe don't know who Dan Savage is. Like really old, like period. What pulp was it? Pulp. Yeah, it wasn't pulp comics.
It was Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Tarantino.
I like you started dancing.
But yeah, he didn't really. Bill Lancaster really didn't want there to be like a Dan Savage like over the top hero type character. He wanted Rue to be super like human,
Yeah, and I get that, but they still kind of he still kind of became that in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's for how like it's forced really quickly. Like we all trust McCready.
Yeah, like that was definitely like a pacing kind of like thing.
It's kind of It's like it's Kurt Russell is the hero of the movie, so we got to make sure everybody just agrees with what he says. I mean, like kind of like going off of that, one thing that it kind of like drew me a little, but like kind of like the music of this movie, like really like as I was watching it, it's like very 80s. It's like I don't know. It felt like it wasn't the same composer. I mean, I should have actually. Oh no, it's the same composer from Halloween. One thing that I give John Carpenter is like his the way that he uses sound in his movies.
Well, that's the thing. It's not even like music. It's tones.
It's a score, yeah.
It's ominous tones.
Which also it made me think of Predator at some points, which makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, Predator came out after this, so they probably Predator probably took a lot of inspiration from this.
But also even then there's like moments where they're like fighting some of the aliens and there was no music. It was just the sounds of the screeching and the flamethrower, and I liked that. It wasn't like some big like like yeah,
yeah, when it's Khan and when Spock
two best friends turn into mortal enemies.
Thank you. It's like, God damn it.
We're just like them, Steven.
God, I want to watch that movie again.
What, Cable Guy?
Yes, I love that. That's one of my favorite Jim Carrey movies. So I have like a quick like just pull I'm just gonna read a list and the movie's gonna play out in front of you. Okay.
Okay.
Dog, Norwegian base, bring back find, infection and suspicion begins. Who's the monster? Blow everything up.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Well, it's just like funny to me too about this movie is that it did have that Blade Runner thing, that it was totally just like ripped apart, and it actually like really upset Carpenter, and then it found this cult following, and it just needed some years to marinate.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, okay. So a big thing like with this movie coming out is like with it up against like E.T. and like if you look at like all of the top movies, like they're all like happy, heartfelt, like You know, what if the alien was a good guy and wanted to become friends with a kid, not devour him? And this movie has a very bleak ending. It just, at a time with America that was going through like they were going through a recession. Like people just wanted more uplifting stuff at the time.
Yeah, which is fair. Like,
so yeah, when it came out on like VHS at the time or Betamax.
Well, I mean, because look at now and the height of the pandemic, pandemic movies were all rise streaming. Like the amount of people that were, it's just like, different generations.
Well, yeah, because the millennials were like, let's live in our fucking pain.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't.
It's like we'll be distracted by social media. Give me a movie that makes me realize I'm alive. So fucked up.
Well, it's like, there's always a fade in of generation and a fade out. So,
100%.
You know what I mean?
Well, and like it's weird. It's like a lot of Gen Zers that I've met or worked with, they have a little bit more of like a strange optimism to it. But it's not like it's kind of like from what I can gather, it's kind of like everything's fucked. Might as well just make the best of it.
Yeah, like
they're like, oh wow, millennials are really miserable. Don't want to be like that.
They're the band on the Titanic,
Yeah. So I did have kind of like a list of like maybe some things to like really like focus on talking about for this movie. You really like that, didn't you?
I did. That was good.
I mean, like, so the first thing I do want to say is like, what's really nice with this movie is that the suspense is earned.
Yeah.
Like this is like, and like with its build of between unpredictability and predictability. I think there's moments where you're like, oh, something's definitely going to happen. But then like moments where you're like, you don't expect anything's going to happen. You're like, holy shit. Like when, I knew it was going to happen because I've seen the movie. But like, when he's doing like the defibrillator?
Oh, that got me so good,
dude. That's like one of the best surprises of the entire goddamn movie.
When, like there's something up with the dude,
yeah,
but you're not like sure.
And then his chest opens up, and
that's the thing I want to say about this movie. Just like for anyone that maybe, if you haven't seen it, then I would just don't listen to this because I really want you to go in like I did, fresh faced, not knowing anything. But also just a heads up that the horror is very like Hellraiser. It's very body very dysmorphic, gory, slimy, sticky.
Yeah,
it's a really gross movie.
But I mean, it's far and few between of those scenes. But when those scenes come, they are very like. Yeah, that's very much that's the focus.
And that's a good point that like you just said too, is like, oh, there's a lot of just long moments of like suspense of who is it? And then some fucking crazy ass monster just comes ripping out of somebody, and it was fucking cool. Like it was really cool.
But yeah, so I mean, so a big thing is like this movie is very, very 80s with the way the story is told, and it's like the unnecessary large explosions.
Yeah,
like especially the very end explosion. There's no way McCready's living through that, or even getting out of that building before
no, but
it happens.
Somehow he had a big coat and a bottle of whiskey. Like,
right?
Those all survived this explosion.
Exactly. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is really just like, like you were just saying, it's like this is how long it takes for it to get to those moments of the creature, and especially,
and like you said, you know something's coming, but what is coming?
Well, what's crazy is like, I think it's like. This movie begins with just like these people in a helicopter. They're chasing down this dog and trying to shoot a dog.
Yeah,
and you're like, what's wrong with, like, don't kill the puppy. Don't kill the puppy. What's wrong with the dog? What's going on? And you just don't really know anything that's happening. And then all of a sudden when they go to the base and they find
a horror show.
A horror, like literally, like there's a guy who's like he slit his own fucking throat.
That all his blood's like frozen coming off of him. Like there's a lot of really gory but cool visuals.
Yeah, and then they find like just literally what they can't. It's what looks like two humans melding or ripping,
like melted into
one being thing.
Yeah, like it's very tall and lanky and all like distorted, but then it has two faces like splitting at the seam in this like expression of agony because it was burned alive or whatever. So they just said, hey, we should take this back to our home base.
Well, yeah, they're scientists.
No,
Of course they would,
No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes more sense than like a lot of other movies where it's a group of like college kids and they find some rare, look at this weird rock we found that's hissing at us. Let's take it back to camp.
Let's take it back to the garage and we'll throw things at it.
Let's take it to the cabin. Nothing could go wrong. I know we have no cell service and we're totally alone.
Let's take it to our high school geology teacher. Maybe he'll know what it is.
Find out it's allergic to cocaine. Yeah, so like it makes sense for this movie. They're scientists. That's what they're like paid to do. They found this creature.
No, and like they're even saying like this is like the find of the year. Someone's gonna get a Nobel Prize for this. Lo and behold, nobody's getting a Nobel Prize because you're all gonna fucking die.
Every last one of you. Is there a sequel to this? No. Like an actual sequel? No. I didn't think there would because it was such a flop. I feel like it wouldn't be a franchise that a studio would want to. And
strange enough, I really think it's just like, I mean, it's weird that the Mary Elizabeth Winstead one is kind of more of a prequel somehow. Because I don't know
how much more of a prequel?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, no, it's a fucking remake. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I think when we were reading that was just kind of maybe a misprint.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I'm very interested. At some point,
I'll watch it again. Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it,
and I like her. So
yeah, I think.
That was something actually kind of weird too that I noticed.
Huh?
It was all men.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's kind of like an '80s thing. At least there was, two black guys. There were some Norwegians in there.
Sorry, Norwegians. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I was just like, well, it goes even for the '80s too. They always have. There's always this like kind of thrown in
love interest.
Like they could have made one of the Norwegians actually live, and it was a woman, and they're trying to figure out. She's like panicking and trying to explain the situation, but she can't speak English.
Well, I mean, but that's also like Bill Lancaster really wanting to hold true to the original story.
Yeah, no, fair. I just thought it was just. I just was like, oh, I was really expecting.
Maybe that's also
woman to.
You know what? Maybe that's another reason why I didn't do well in the '80s because people are like, well, if nobody's gonna fall in love, why do I want to watch it?
That's what I'm saying. It was just a stereotypical '80s trope to have some weird love something happening,
some female body to just be there to exist for some type of attraction, a box for them to fall in love with.
I just thought it was like, oh, this is like, I can't remember the last movie I've seen that has an entire cast of just one like gender.
One gender.
Yeah.
Ocean's 8. No, sorry. That isn't just one.
I was thinking Wine Country, but no, there's what's his butts in that.
12 Angry Men.
At least that one's in the title.
Okay.
But yeah, I just thought it was weird because it's such a trope.
I really liked how, like, I mean, I guess like we can kind of like loosely kind of go through this because I want to actually like talk about each creature. Well, I mean, not each creature, but like the creatures.
Let's just explain what the creature is. So the creature is an alien.
It's like a parasitic alien.
It's a uniformic alien.
No, it's a
harvesting alien.
Coming. Not that.
You ever seen Slither?
Yeah, it's like a parasitic. Yeah, it's parasitic.
Yeah, but what it does is it attacks the host's DNA on a cellular level and is able to mimic said creature. So this dog that we mentioned in the beginning was one of these creatures, and that's the thing too. The thing is one thing, but it's multiple things because of how the organism procreates asexually, basically.
Yeah, but it also makes me want, because like if multiple people are infected at the same time, does that mean like the DNA, like, is it almost like a
hive mind?
Yeah,
I would think it'd be a hive mind kind of situation.
I don't think it is. I think because like I think that just whatever this DNA strand has picked up will just continue to go through the next one and the next one. So there could be branches of like where it's like, well, this one hasn't touched a dog, or like maybe this one hasn't.
The one at the end had the dog head come out.
Yeah, because it's the original.
I thought they killed the original one.
No, it's been infected from the original one.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Like it has the memory of the dog DNA in it.
Yeah, so it takes cells and is able to mimic them and become these different creatures, and they find out, lo and behold, this thing wants to become human to then set off and take over the planet, basically.
Kind of, but it also seems like when it's like building it's building a spaceship to go back home or like go to other planets, maybe.
Yeah, and it's one of those. The creature itself, the lore behind it, isn't super explained, like because this thing never actually talks in its own true, like, you never, I mean, it screeches and stuff, so that could be talking, but you never hear it talk in its own true voice. It only talks as the people it's mimicking. So you're not even sure, like, on what kind of, like, level of consciousness this thing actually does have. Is it kind of like Slither, where it's just this innate primal urge to spread, or is it actually, like, colonizing for a greater purpose for the rest of them back home? You know, you never get like a lore behind it, really.
Well, really, like the opening shot of this movie is like a spaceship coming down.
Awesome fucking, it's a flying saucer.
Yeah.
And I was super stoked. It was just a good old fashioned flying saucer.
And it doesn't really, there's no like timestamp or anything. You just see it like go down, like fly to Earth, and then
it says Antarctica, 1982.
Yeah.
But
I mean, which it kind of like alludes like the spaceship landed in 1982.
no, because they said thousands of years.
Oh, that's what I was saying. I didn't see a timestamp.
Yeah, no, but they said that like the ice around this.
Yeah. You find that out later.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of alludes to like, it's like, oh, that's weird. That spaceship just landed in 82, whatever. But then you find out that no, it's been under ice for a long time.
So this dog is now like running around the camp, and then finally they decide to put it in the kennel with the other ones, and that's our first like real.
And this is like what, the 30-40 minute?
Yeah, like you don't really get a lot of alien action until a good chunk of the movie, and it's about an hour and 40 minutes
like,
long.
I would say like maybe like 25 minutes in is when you really see that first like thing that they bring back to their camp from the Norwegian camp.
But
so you kind of have this weird like, what the fuck is this? What is happening? And you kind of get the feeling, because they keep cutting to this dog that seems to be actually brilliant filming by John Carpenter with like the use of this dog. And very well trained dog.
Well, no, he even said the dog was a really great actor. Like, never looked at the camera, just was like, it really knew, like,
it understood what its job was.
Yeah. And the dog is really, and it was great. Like what you were saying with Carpenter, I'm thinking you're like, the shots are great because it looks like the dog is just observing everyone and watching patterns.
And it kind of makes you at unease. Like, what the, like,
it's this beautiful dog with these really like almost gold.
Yeah, it's a husky, beautiful husky,
gold eyes, and it's just kind of peering.
It's like at some point you're like, "Fuck, dude, maybe they should have shot the dog."
yeah. You're like, maybe even when they're trying to kill it, they're throwing grenades at it.
Yeah,
like, they were trying to fucking murder this thing. I feel like there should be a reason. But yeah, so they end up putting the dog in the kennel, and this is the
with
first
other dogs, and they kind of all realize like, wait, why has the dog just been wandering around? Why hasn't it been put in the kennel yet?
Yeah, and this was my first jump moment, because all the other dogs start realizing that there's this thing. This is not a dog. This is something else. They start snarling and barking at it, and its fucking head comes, like, I don't even know how to describe it.
Like out of its mouth?
Comes piercing out of its mouth, and there's blood and everything, and then like the skull falls out, and there's this row of teeth, and then all these tentacles start growing out of it and start attacking the other dog. It was like, it's fucking gruesome. It's like spitting acid at them. It's just brutal.
I don't know if it was spitting acid. I feel like that was like what it's spitting what it infects them with.
Well, yeah, but then they showed that dog later on, and it was like breaking down. It was like melting.
Oh, I thought the dog that he got sprayed with something was the one that got out and ran away.
I don't think that one was. I think that one got the gate open.
Oh, okay.
And then the others.
Oh, yeah. But yeah. So, yeah. No animals were harmed in the filming of this movie.
A lot of animal guts were used, though.
Real animal guts. Damn, I didn't hear that.
I can't remember which. I can't remember which actor or someone when they were doing one of the like peeling it apart scenes actually got sick just because of the squishing and the blood.
Oh,
and
I bet. Yeah,
I was like, I can't do this.
So we get our first fucking alien, and they're like, kill it with fire,
dude. I loved the reaction.
Yeah, no,
burn it.
There's actually, I will actually like. Well, the great thing is like their choices with everything in this movie, all very logical.
Yeah.
All I don't know, maybe a little over the top on like they're like, get me out of this fucking air, you know. But like everything I feel like everyone kind of has like a logical response to this.
Well, and then like a lot of times with these like sci-fi researcher scientists, there's always the one that wants to keep the xenomorph egg. There's the one that wants to, you know, for the greater good of science. There's always that. And you're like, I get it, that's your job, but we don't need to worry about the job right now. We need to worry about other shit. The only one that can be explained is the fucking android who's programmed to follow those orders and these kind of things. But I like that they're like, fuck it, melt it. No, I don't know. I don't care. Like, kill it. Like, and I would really like. I'm like, yeah, that's the normal human response to something that just sprouted out of a husky and started eating other huskies. Kill it.
Yeah. And then, so with that,
shoot first, ask questions later.
So, like they kill that one, but there's still like this question of like what happened, like how, like, is there people that are infected possibly?
Well, because this is when the doctor starts kind of doing his like little experiments, and this is how his computer. I loved that too. This is old ass.
Oh, did you like the chest at the beginning as well?
Oh yeah, cheating bitch.
Pours his fucking
his whiskey in there.
it.
But yeah, and then this is when you start to realize the doctor has figured out that how this thing procreates, like we explained, it actually takes over cells and takes over an organism. And then that's when we start getting into the cool theme of paranoia, because that's when the doctor realizes this dog has been running around camp all day unsupervised. So at this point, there's a 75% that one or more members of the crew have been infected and changed. And so then he starts to go down this deep end.
Well, he takes his gun and locks himself in his room for a minute.
But yeah, he destroys the helicopter. He destroys like the tractor. He destroys the radio tower because he's like, this can't get out because this will infect the planet. And he's like ready to.
Oh yeah, because what was it like? Popular 27,000
hours until entire planet assimilated.
If
basically.
It like leaves, yeah.
And yeah, so this is when we like this
made me think of Plague Inc. Sorry.
This is when the paranoia comes in, and now you can't trust anyone.
So now we have, now I would really think about it, like when it comes to like order of conflict, we have, or problems, we have an alien somewhere, something happening, and now Dr. Brimley freaking out and going
ape shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's literally like shooting at people, like as they're trying to like, they just want to talk to him to calm him down, be like, just like tell us what's wrong, man.
Yeah.
And no, he's like,
I'll kill every one of you fuckers.
Yeah. Which I mean, in his mind, he's thinking like, fuck, they could all be infected and I don't know. I'd rather kill everybody here and then die than like let it spread.
And like it kind of even going to what you were saying too is like everyone's reactions are logical. He's the only one that has this information. And you can't trust anyone, so you don't know who to tell that information to. So yeah, you're sitting in your room alone, and he's been drinking vodka, the whole time too. You're gonna get into your own head, and you've seen what this thing can do.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
when is the next creature that we actually see? Is that I think so? Well, we see that the one that they brought back is actually still alive.
Yeah, because it's like this thing is. That's what's interesting about this monster specifically. This thing is active on a cellular level.
Yeah.
So a ounce of its blood is still technically the organism.
Yeah.
So that's what's interesting. It's like, yeah, this husk of a body might be dead, but if there's any living blood within the husk and it gets out, it's going to now look for a new host.
Which is why you have to kill it with fire.
Yeah, you have to burn it, you know.
or blow it up.
I feel like that would just make it worse. Now you got rain of parasitic.
That's fair, yeah.
That's what I first thought it was.
I think so. Like so they end up like they get Brimley and they lock him up, isolation fucking mode, and there's actually really no track of like how many days they end up kind of like being isolated out there.
And they also did a really good thing. I really don't think at any point you can figure out who the alien is because of the way it's shot, and I kind of liked that. There's
small little moments where you're like, him definitely.
Yeah, but it's like I don't think, I mean, I didn't really try because I thought it was kind of a waste of time, but I was like, I feel like
that's kind of like
the point is you're never supposed to know, and they don't want you to figure it out.
Exactly.
They don't want you to figure it out until they're ready to show you, oh, boom, he's an alien.
Because, I mean, so they put they have Brimley locked up. You get an idea of like maybe like a couple of weeks has passed because like
it's been a good amount of time.
Yeah.
But I think that's also part of the suspension paranoia thing is because of the area they live in.
yeah,
And
they're in Antarctica. Yeah,
it's like it's hard to tell how much time is going by because nothing is changing.
exactly.
Yeah.
So someone ends up kind of like having what was it? Fugue? Why? Yeah, it's like one of them. That's right. They want to do the test with the blood, and they find out that
we had the first.
That's.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because remember, it's only Windows, David's, the captain, and
No, I thought the defibrillator happened after that because
and Carter. No, because
no, because the doctor
they test the dead guy's blood, the one that got shot in the head.
I'm not talking about that blood. I'm talking about the blood that they have stored.
Oh, not the not the blood from the finger. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, because they want to test the blood. They want to with fresh samples of blood. They want to mix blood together.
Yeah, they want to take uncontaminated blood that's in their like hospital wing and put it with the crew member's blood, and they see a reaction between the two, then they know that one's an alien.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, they go to the blood storage, and someone has destroyed it. There are only two people that have keys to it, so that again causes this. The rift is getting bigger and bigger, and the less trust is happening.
There eventually gets to this point where one of the people, you see him kind of like, they're like barricading doors. I forget exactly why.
Because McCready
Yeah.
and TK
Yeah.
go out to go see the doc.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, like, we all meet in 20 minutes, 45 minutes has gone by, and they still haven't come back. So they're like, that's too much time. They've been alone. They could possibly be infected, like, start locking up the doors. They can't come in.
Oh, that's right, because TK finds, like, McCready's shirt all, like, torn up in, like, the furnace or whatever.
Yeah, like, as they're doing it, he shows up, and he's like,
There's someone that's trying to sabotage McCready. That's right. Okay.
And since the alien is such transformative of the human body, the clothes you're wearing get, like, shredded up and covered in blood and stuff. So the alien is aware of that and is hiding evidence.
Yeah.
So every now and then they find a piece of clothing that is unmarked. The only one that has been marked is McCready's jacket.
Yes. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
So they all turn to McCready, but then he goes all fucking...
I'll blow us all up.
Yeah, grabs a stick of dynamite and is like, I dare you, motherfucker. And they're like, you won't do that. He's like, try me. And they're like, he might do it. He totally might do it.
And also, what I think that's kind of another thing is like the creature wouldn't be wanting to kill itself.
It'd be trying to convince you.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be like, I'll blow my fucking shit up, I swear to God. Like, it's definitely clear. Its primal instinct is survival.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In every possible way. Because at this point, too, one of the other characters has what looks like a heart attack. And
Which, did you notice that there was a moment where he kind of like has a weird twinge before?
Yeah, that was confused. Was he like slowly being infected and just didn't realize it? Because they also mentioned something about it. Like,
I think so. Yeah.
it could be in food.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe it was in like happening from the inside out as opposed to being attacked externally.
Yes. Like he didn't know that it was that he had been taken over and infected. So this movie was perfect for infection, really.
Mm-hmm. And so they start trying to do like defibrillator, trying to bring him back. And as they're doing chest compressions, one of the doctors is like pushing down, and his stomach opens up into teeth, and then chops his arms off, and then it just churns into this howling, screeching monstrosity. And then what do? Fire, damn it!
We're forgetting about the one that they killed out. That I just remembered after.
Oh, the first guy.
Yeah, when they just kind of looks up and his hands are all weird and just like.
Yeah, and that's like something. So this process of infection takes time, and so it really is like if you're alone with anybody, it becomes were you infected? And when it got caught. So it like busts out the window and it's running through the snow. And when they catch up to it, it looks totally like their coworker, except for his hands are these like long, tentacly claws.
Yeah.
And then that's when they realize like, oh, okay, this thing is, even when they're dead, they're not really dead. We have to burn them.
Yeah.
So they burn all the samples.
That's right. There we go.
Yeah.
Now we remember. All right. So that's 1, 2, 3 creatures. Also, the head. That's my favorite fucking.
Yeah. So after the arms get bit off and they burn the one that had the heart attack, this is the whole survival thing. Its head kind of elongates, and the human head like elongates and melts and falls off, and then like a tentacle comes out of its mouth and it hides itself underneath the table. So they don't know it's there, and then it sprouts like these fucking
spider legs
and snail eyes. So it's an upside down head with these little
like lobster, like
parasitic lobster
crustacean.
If you it's like Slither, it's just really disgusting. And this is one of the best moments because it's trying to get away, so it's going down the hallway, and one of the other guys just turns around and he's just like, and you're looking at him as if you're like the creature, and you just see him go, "You've gotta be fucking with me," and they're like, and they just set it on fire. God, that killed me. There's some funny moments in this. You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Where do we go from here? I guess, just to the next creature. I guess because like it's like what's interesting is like you have these moments, like these intense moments of like the creature attacking and whatnot, and then like the distrust of everybody and whatnot. And
there's peaks.
Yeah.
Of like intensity.
Yeah. And McCready gets the idea of like, okay, so
because of the every part of it is it sets like a part of the creature that wants to survive.
Yeah.
If we test blood by harming the blood will react, and then the creature will react. So he basically convinces everyone besides him.
No, he does it himself.
No. But get tied up and everything.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't really convince. He more says, "We're fucking tying you up, or I'm blowing us up."
Yeah, until we do this, and they go around each person and test everyone's blood.
Yeah, that was actually the most uncomfortable moment for me in the entire movie.
Why?
Watching them cut their thumbs.
Yeah.
I just don't like that shit.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all.
And he takes like a hot wire and pokes at it, each one. No reaction. Finally gets a reaction. And very Hellraiser, like his head's like expanding and his eyes are bulging and blood's coming down.
And they're tied to the couch to this thing of turning, transforming, while McCready's like can't get his blowtorch on, just freaking out like shit.
Yeah, his flamethrower's not working.
Windows, get it. Windows panicking like just hit the trigger, just fucking kill it. No.
And then the head splits open into more teeth and eats windows, and then he starts to turn. It's just like a whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
But then I guess we can just like kind of skip towards the end. So at this point, there are very few survivors left.
Well, there is a moment where they go up to talk to Brimley, which I think is kind of like an insinuate, like it's foreshadowing that he's possibly infected. It's like there's a noose hanging. He's made a noose, which I thought is fucking dark as shit.
Yeah.
But then he's like, I think I'm ready to come inside.
Thank you. I was so curious about that. So it's like before he was infected, he was planning on killing himself. But then he got infected, and then that's when he started trying to convince to go inside.
I think I'm ready to come inside.
Interesting. I didn't think about that. Okay. Well, I thought about it, but I couldn't like wrap my head around it. Okay.
Because after all of that, they're like, okay, well, now we got to test the doctor's blood, and then that'll prove if he's infected or not. And then they go into the shelter, and his door's open. He's gotten out. It's like, oh shit. Well, he's definitely. Then they find a burrow underneath the fucking tool shack,
which has got to just be like that means that this has been going on for a while.
Yeah.
Because I was like, how did you do that so quick? And I was like, oh, you actually don't have any idea of how much time has been passing.
Yeah. And he's been building a spaceship underneath.
Yeah, little mini flying saucer.
Yeah,
little tiny one with the pieces of the helicopter. So he's been like,
pieces of around the entire encampment.
Yeah, he's been
which nobody can see outside because there's a huge storm.
Oh, and he took the generator.
Yeah,
to power the spaceship. So he was getting ready to like get the fuck out of there.
So it's like once they see that's getting built, they're like, all right, well, Brimley is definitely infected.
So we got to blow, like, and they're aware too, without the generator, they only have so many hours until it goes below freezing.
Yep.
So they're like, well, no one's getting out of here alive at this point, but we got to stop this thing.
So there's literally like this like agreement, like, well, if we're all going to die, it's going to go down with us.
Yeah. And so
because they also like, McCready even says like it wants to hibernate. It wants to be frozen in the ice
until it can be found again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wants to go to sleep. So they just, then there's this whole shot.
Oh, because we completely skipped the Norwegians finding it.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Digging it out of the, Anywho.
It was frozen for thousands. I thought we kind of okay. Yeah, it was frozen for thousands of years.
Well,
so,
we talked about the spaceship, not it.
oh yeah, so cold can't kill it. Heat can. It just makes it go into hibernation. So then there's this whole scene of them going around and just placing dynamite to blow this thing up, and each one of them, besides McCready, and David's is MIA at this point.
Yeah,
They see him
Childs.
Yeah, they see him run around in the snow, and then it's just kind of like not brought up again until the very end of the movie. But as they're like setting up the charges, they're getting picked off one by one by the doctor.
I love the hand into the face.
It's
And, like, it starts to absorb him.
it's like it's so Hellraiser to me. It's crazy. I guess Hellraiser came out after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, just the
Maybe.
the body horror. I don't know. I want to say like Hellraiser's like 89,
I think Hellraiser is more like 84.
84. Okay. But yeah, so they start getting picked off, and then long story, like the doctor creature then attacks McCready, but he's like this huge.
It's like showing its true form. It's like its final form.
Yeah, it's what's his butt and Slither at the end.
Yeah.
It's this long, big tentacle, snarling beast, and it has like the doctor's head, but then out of the chest of like a weird hellhound dog.
Oh, and then like on the
comes out.
side of its head, it's got like another like big like Resident Evil like looking like mouth coming out
Yeah,
of it.
yeah. That's another good one. Very Resident Evil bioweapon looking shit.
And what does McCready say as he throws the dynamite?
Yeah, fuck you too.
Yeah, that's right.
It was a very you ugly motherfucker line.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you too. And then as Jacob mentioned earlier, there's this huge explosion all around camp, like one here and then a second later, one over there. Like the entire thing is just up in flames. And then cut to good old McCready coming down with his jacket and his bottle of whiskey. Oh.
I do love this scene though.
Did you also notice though, real quick, that the makeup started changing on them? Like Russell, like they made him paler with darker circles, showing they weren't sleeping.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that until like towards the end. I'm like, God, they all look like shit. I'm like, oh, because they're not.
Well,
sleeping
and also now the cold's really affecting them because they don't have any heat.
Yeah. So I was like, that was kind of cool and subtle, just little makeup tricks here and there.
So like I love the ending of this film, like the little like the exchange that Child and McCready have, where like because as soon as like Child just comes out of nowhere after trying to look for Blair.
The doctor.
Yeah, and McCready's just like, where were you? He's like, well, I thought I saw Blair, so I went off going after him.
And I got lost in the storm.
Yeah.
And then Russell was like, well, if any of us were going to do anything about it, I don't think we're in any position to.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just like, if you are the alien or if I'm the alien, well, fuck.
We're either of us are fucked, yeah.
Yeah. And then they just share some of the alcohol and just sit there. And he's like, well, what do we do now? He's like, let's just sit here for a while.
I guess we sit here and just wait it out.
Yeah. And then directed by John Carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
Bleak as fuck.
Bleak, yeah, no, but I mean, it's like it
So good.
It goes with the movie.
I know.
It goes with the whole feeling and vibe of the movie. You don't know, That's why. That's one of the reasons I asked about the sequel thing. I was like,
oh yeah. So apparently, I just remember the novella. It ends where they feel like they've killed everything, but then all of a sudden, like, the birds around the area start flying north, like they're gonna migrate, and they think like, oh, but what if the birds are infected?
Oh, like the cat and the fallen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have been kind of cool.
Yep. All right. So what's
Mogwai.
Yeah.
I really
Not
really,
a gizmo for you?
No, just
Not a
'cause
gizmo, but
it aged.
It's definitely a Mogwai, yeah.
Yeah, it aged. And and there's.
I mean, I can't I'm so glad I finally got you to watch it because I've been telling you need to watch this for a while.
I told you, man. Anytime you need me to watch something, you got to make it an episode, and then I have to.
No, exactly. That's actually kind of like last week when we were talking. You're like, well, I mean, but it's your choice, and I was like, we are watching the thing.
Yeah, it's not a gizmo just because it is older and like.
It's not perfect.
It's not, and it's just like you said, the pacing. I really fucking hated that blackout
The fade out, like
every time.
I mean, it's like I could tell like what the pacing is trying to do is to create that sense of like lethargy, lethargy. You know what I'm trying to say? Of like they're dragging on trying to figure out what's happening, and we're just like we're drudging along with them.
Yeah.
And when the moments of the creature do happen, we're like, whoa.
I mean, yeah,
which
like,
it works. It's fucking
like it got me a couple times. Like, and it's that whole thing. It's coming. And it's. I want to say it's very. The scares are very jump gore scares. Mm-hmm. So it's not. I don't feel like this movie was not gonna. It's not gonna stick with me because it's like it's like Aliens. Yeah. It's like that kind of horror where it's very much like gotcha.
I mean, it's kind of I would also give Alien a little bit as well.
Yeah, well, I just meant the kind of more action packed.
Yeah, I mean, there's the initial jump scare with it, with some of them,
mm-hmm.
and then it just like you just know it's there.
Well, then and there's this. I think what is different too, and like Aliens and Alien, and again, I'm going with Aliens because of the.
There's a little bit more action packed to it. Alien was a lot more like it's gonna come from somewhere and kill you.
Yeah, but it's like both of those have this always underlining tension because it's always out there.
Yeah, exactly.
That even though you killed this one, there's another one right around the corner. And yeah, so I mean, I thought this was very enjoyable.
Hell yeah. I'm glad you liked it.
I liked it a lot.
As I was rewatching it, I was like, if Tommy doesn't come back and love this movie, I don't know if I know my friend anymore.
I was getting excited just even reading about it. I was like, I'm actually getting really pumped to like watch this. This sounds cool. Like, and especially when the whole Blade Runner kind of comparison to it being super panned, and then years later, people are like, "Oh, this movie is actually really good." I was like, "All right."
There is also a really cool history of just like how this movie got made and all of that in general, which is very thoroughly covered on Wikipedia. So if you're interested in like the history of this film, there's also a lot of like I think there's like documentaries and stuff. Special if you get like a DVD of it, I'm pretty sure there's like the making of or like the history behind the thing.
Yeah, and if you like special effects, like especially like 80s ones, which are sometimes just really fun to watch the actual physically like think, how did they make that? That's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, you just got like it was just looking at the dude Rob Bottin that did all this stuff, like all the movies that he's done on Total Recall, Legend,
even Inner Space. Inner Space is great.
No, exactly.
Special effects.
No, yeah.
Like for the time, it was fucking. The whole movie takes place inside of a human body.
Yeah.
In a tiny little submarine. Like that's fucking cool. We got to do Inner Space one day. I love that movie.
That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, it's definitely a mogwai. Definitely recommend this movie to people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not one of my favorite movies of all time. Oh, it's one of my, I love this movie.
Well, that's why I said specifically this is one of my favorite sci-fi creature features because it's I'm going to put it in that. I'm not going to say it's my top 10 movie, but it's in very high in that category.
It is kind of hard to, for the spacing, it's easy to fall asleep to.
Yeah.
Until the creatures come.
Yeah. And then you're like, holy shit. Hello.
So do we want to talk about what we're doing next week?
Oh yeah. What was the word?
Editorial?
Editor
Editor or something like that. Yeah. So we have an interesting week. There we go. That's right. We're going to start off with 7 Psychopaths.
Yeah, so the word we got was editor, and we decided to go kind of a darker route with it. So we're going to do 7 Psychopaths, and then
Zodiac.
And then Zodiac the following week.
Oh, man, yeah.
So we're going to do, it's like writing-based, but with like murderers and stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more of a darker.
Yeah, and it's going to be kind of weird when we do the Zodiac. It's going to be kind of a true crime episode, too.
Yeah, because
we're going to have to talk about the Zodiac.
A little. Let's not do too much on him, though.
I think the Zodiac is in 7 Psychopaths.
Really?
I think so. I think there's a reference to him.
I mean,
or them, or
a reference, but they're not in it.
No. I don't know. Anyways. Oh wait, yeah, in it.
How?
You just watch it. I don't want to tell you. Watch it.
Okay.
But yeah, the Zodiac
this is also like a movie that I've seen that he hasn't seen, vice versa.
Yeah. So I've seen 7 Psychopaths, so that was my choice, and then he has seen Zodiac, which I have owned for years and just never put it on. So I'm gonna finally watch it.
You know Robert Downey Jr. in it, right?
Yeah. No, I love the cast. I just never got into it.
All right.
No.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Share with friends.
Yeah. This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Pew.